So what I thought I might do to start us off, because I am very, very excited to be doing this interview with you, Pam, Queen of Curryfest, amongst other things. I thought I'd just like get straight in there and probably just share your praises straight up. So I'm going to read a little bit of information I found by doing some internet sleuthing on you. Are you ready?
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, no, it's all good. Pamela Fayle from Arrawarra has held a number of positions at the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. She was a board member of the Australian Trade Commission and Export, Finance and Insurance Group in the early 2000s and is the former chair of the International Cultural Promotions. She was economic advisor to Senator Peter Cook, Minister for Industry, Science and Technology from 1994 to 96. In the Woolgoolga community, she has been the president of the Rotary Club and chair of the Curryfest Organised Committee. She's the secretary of the Coffs City Orchestra and master of ceremonies, committee member of the Woolgoolga Art Gallery and member of the local Chamber of Commerce, and was an awarded an Order of Australia medal. Yes. So there you go. So we have
I'm no longer the master of ceremonies. Our musical director does that now, but yeah, otherwise it's all pretty accurate.
All true.
Yeah.
So besides that glowing little bio there, tell us, I love hearing about your story because I think that you are amazing and I have known you for quite some time. And I would love for you to share just a little bit about you, your life, and how you came to be in Woolgoolga.
Oh, okay. It's a long story, really. I grew up on a farm halfway between Tamworth and Gunnedah. I went to high school in Tamworth. I was a Rotary exchange student to Japan way back in 1972. Long time ago. I still speak reasonable Japanese. I speak a little bit of German, but my Japanese is better.
I did not know that about you. That's a new fact. I was expecting to learn new things. I was just expecting to celebrate you, but that is very cool.
I went to ANU, did my degrees in ANU in economics and Asian studies, and basically had a career in the public service, most of it in the foreign service as a diplomat. I had postings in Japan and in Germany, and my last position was as ambassador to Germany, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein, and I retired from there. We bought our house on the Arrawarra headland in 2002 and moved here permanently in 2006.
Very cool. And we are doing this via Zoom when we're literally like 5 houses apart from each other.
Okay.
Okay, so 2006 officially. Now, hang on, is that or next year you'll be past the 20-year mark? You can officially
2006.
Call yourself local.
Yeah, same as Curryfest.
Oh my God! So
I wasn't actually involved in quite a few of the early Curryfests, but I've been here ever since Curryfest has been here.
There you go. It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Mm.
Very cool. So you came here to Woolgoolga after you retired, living at Arrawarra, and then how have you been involved in the Woolgoolga community?
I guess I started off joining the Rotary Club because I'd been a Rotary exchange student. I saw it as a chance to give back to the community and to Rotary. And through Rotary, I was the Rotary representative on the Curryfest committee. And then I never left. I'm a bit hard to get rid of, I think. And through the Curryfest committee, I ended up also as an honorary member of the Chamber of Commerce and doing a few other things as well as Curryfest. But in my retirement, because working and raising a family, I hadn't had a chance to have hobbies or do other things. I really wanted to focus on art and music in my retirement. So the art was by going to some classes at the Woolgoolga Art Gallery, and eventually I joined the committee there. And similarly with music, I had learnt the piano as a young person, but hadn't really done anything for the whole time I'd been working. When I was in Germany, I bought a violin and I learnt the violin and joined the Coffs City Orchestra in retirement. So ended up on the committee there too. I must have committee written on my forehead or something.
No, you're very much a joiner, and we are very, very lucky to have you. I think there needs to be more people like you in the world who are willing to just, get in and get involved in making a difference in things, because it's very easy to want things to be different, but there's very few people who are willing to put their hand up to kind of give back and make that happen. And You are incredibly inspiring, and we are very, very, very lucky to have you
Thank
in
you.
our community. So I love that. How talented are you? Multi-talented are you?
No, not really. I'm not very good at all these things. I just do them because I enjoy them.
Well, that is very good, and you were very humble. So add that to the list. But I have seen your artwork, and I have seen you perform, and I've seen your brain in action. So I know that you are incredibly talented in many areas. Now, so let's talk a little bit about, because obviously, I've got my Curryfest shirt on, so we'll have to chat about Curryfest. But before we get to that, what do you love about Woolgoolga, or what is it that kind of draws you to wanting to be involved and volunteer and be part of so many things in our community?
It's a great community. I love it. I enjoy it a lot. I have a lot of friends here. I think when we were looking for a place to retire, it was kind of the time that baby boomers were all retiring, and real estate all along the Australian coast was going up and up and up in price. So we drove up and down the coast to find our retirement spot, and the house that we're in is the one that we saw. We found it, we fell in love with it, fell in love with the area. I think two of my grandchildren call here paradise. So I think that kind of says it all. I've been
I
all over the world traveling for work and just for personal travel, and it's a bit hard to beat this area.
We're very lucky, and it is such a beautiful place. And I think
Mm.
you're right as well that it's not just beautiful to look at or live and the geography, but it is the community and the people as well. It's I think even seeing visitors and people who come for Curryfest, people who return year after year after year, and they just say there's just something about, yes, it's beautiful, it absolutely is paradise, but there's just something about this community as well.
Mm.
It's pretty special. So do you have any advice for people who maybe like what you did when you retired, or even people who are trying to still juggle the whole work-life balance thing? What would you say to them about getting involved in a community and doing more volunteering? Often people will balk at that or resist it because they think they don't have time or that it'll be a drain on them. I feel like you're absolutely a long time volunteer and advocate for getting involved in stuff like that. So what would be some advice for people who might be hesitant?
I think it's really easy these days with social media and streaming television to be very self-centered and just sit at home and not interact even with other people around the community. And I think that's and probably your physical health as well. So I think it's pretty important to stay engaged with other people. And one way of doing it is to volunteer and work. And, there's lots and lots of community organisations that are active in the Woolgoolga area, and they're all screaming out for volunteers. So I would love to see, you don't have to give heaps of time. You could just give, it helps, and you end up enjoying it. It's a great feeling to be giving back to the community. I mean, I've had a terrific life. I'm married. I've got two wonderful kids. I've got 5 wonderful grandkids. I really feel like I should give back to the community. So
That is a beautiful
yeah,
way to look at it. Yes, and it's giving back, but it's also giving to yourself too in the way that you connect and stuff too.
yep.
You put that so beautifully well. Not a surprise. So what do you see as or how would you like to see us evolve as a coastal community, or a suburb of our city? What do you think will
That's a
mean?
really question, because you don't want to lose that friendly small community. You don't want to lose that nice multicultural mix that we have. You don't want to lose a lot of what we have now, and retaining that when you're obviously going to grow over time is very difficult. So I think that's another reason for people in the community to stay engaged, so that they ensure that we maintain that character and that atmosphere that people love about this place. Otherwise, if you leave it all to developers or people who are interested only in the money they can make out of the area, then you may lose what we all love about Woolgoolga.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is exactly right as well. We can't stop the change and the growth. It is
No,
inevitable, but
no.
we can have absolutely a really involved say in what that looks like, so that we can
Yeah,
maintain that.
absolutely. Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
that's so true. Now, I would love to. I
Mm.
have heard some of your stories before. I do love hearing about all of the incredible adventures that you've had. Would you like to? Can you think off the top of your head of any highlights or stories or things that you can tell us about throughout your career? I won't mention any because some of the
No.
ones that we have shared, I don't know if you feel how you feel about sharing them, but yeah, what are some, like, what's something that comes to memory, like maybe something that has happened or that you've been proud to be a part of, or a challenge that you've faced during your career, or even how you felt to get your Order of Australia medal and recognised in that way?
Oh, good heavens. I don't know what don't know what to say. I mean, obviously, I ended my career on a high as ambassador to Germany, Switzerland, and Liechtenstein, and spent 3 years living in Berlin, which was wonderful. I guess I spent, I think, a lot in recent times about a lot of my work was with APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, and it was all about removing tariffs. So every time I turn on the TV and see Mr. Trump putting tariffs on, I think, oh my goodness, as if it's
Yeah.
all back to square one. So it does make me think
Part of
about
it.
that a lot. Yeah, except I usually think, well, I at least know how tariffs work, and he doesn't seem to. So
Yeah.
there is.
Do you feel like giving
I'm
us a
sure you
little
don't want to
lesson?
get you don't want to
You
get political in whooping news.
that's fine.
Um, what else? Oh gosh, lots of things. Some of them not, some of them difficult and not so easy. For example, I was for a time in charge of the crisis centre when the Bali bombing happened. So that was a lot of very difficult work liaising with our Defence Force people and others who were helping out on the ground in Bali.
Yeah.
What else? One interesting one is when I was in Germany, there was the equivalent of a Chamber of Commerce in Hamburg, and they every year, once a year, they invited all the ambassadors from the Asia Pacific countries, and I was the first woman ever to attend. So there was a photo in the newspaper the next day of me with 700 men in fancy dinner suits.
Oh my God, do you have a photo of that still?
No, I don't.
Damn it.
I don't have one. But it was, yes. So
Oh, that is
700
great.
very, very fancily attired men and me. Probably the best odds I've ever had.
David can't give you advice.
Yeah.
That
So,
is so
I
cool. So
mean,
you're a trendsetter in so many ways.
well, I guess because of the time that I was in senior roles, sort of around the 2000 mark, there weren't so many women in Australia in those top positions. I think I was the second one to be the deputy head of Foreign Affairs and Trade.
Wow.
So it meant that you were often the only woman in a meeting room or the only woman involved in a project, etc. So it's less likely to happen now, thankfully. Women are moving into more senior roles all the time. So
Yeah, wow.
it
That
was
would
a
have
different
been,
time.
yes, absolutely. That would have been quite challenging. Wow. And it's crazy to see, just how far we've come over that time. But yeah, for you to be like, nope, it was just me and 700 dudes, and that was considered normal.
That was only one occasion. But yes, I often was the only woman in meetings and involved in projects, yes.
How did you go getting a word in? Was it
No, not particularly difficult. Early on, one of the difficulties was I had children, and so I often had to leave to pick them up. And men were quite happy to start an important meeting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then, you know, I had
yeah.
to work very hard to change the culture.
Well, I'm glad. Thank goodness for you being one of the pioneers in that space to change that, because it is a challenge, and we need more women and more just incredible diverse people in spaces like that. And so changing the culture is hard to do, especially to be one of the people at the forefront of doing that at the start of that change would have been hugely, like, that would have had a huge impact on you. So thank you for yet again being someone who, like, is a change maker on so many fronts.
Mm.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And how did it feel to get your Order of Australia medal? Was that a surprise?
Oh, yeah, I'm fairly surprised. You do get to find out a little bit before it's announced, but yeah, I'm sure there are lots of people who deserve those awards, and of course, nobody ever gets there by themselves. Just about everything I'm involved in here and also in my work career was as part of a team, not ever just by yourself. So you do feel a little bit guilty that you get the award and other people don't. But yeah, it was very
Yeah.
nice.
But that shows that you are a true leader and contributor and collaborator, because a lot of people are more than willing to take the credit for other people's work, and I think it's the very valuable and respectful people who are the ones to say, yeah, look, I might be the one recognized, but it wasn't just me. It was a whole bunch of people that contributed to that. So not surprising that you have that perspective. So, well, we won't chat for too much longer, or I'll run out of page space and I'll get in trouble with Lisa. But let's have a Curryfest chat.
Curryfest, yes.
Yeah.
I can't actually remember what the first year was, but I think I've been involved in Curryfest for at least 10 years now, probably a little bit more. And it's changed over time. It was all run by volunteers at the beginning, and then we hired people who had event management expertise as the event grew. It's become bigger, more expensive, particularly since COVID. Like with everything else in the cost of living crunch, all the costs of putting on an event like that have gone up. So at one point we had to introduce an entry charge, which is unpopular with a lot of people, but it's the only way to keep the event going. I think it's really a signature event for the whole Coffs Coast, not just for Woolgoolga. I think we've got the top and tail of Curryfest and Chilifest at the north and the south end of Coffs Harbour. So I think that's pretty cool. And the most important thing for me is that it continues to celebrate the multicultural nature of Woolgoolga, and also that it promotes tourism, because people who come for Curryfest don't just come for the day, generally speaking. A lot of them come from further away. They stay here because it's still school holidays. They spend their money in the community. So lots of people benefit from the spin-off economic effect that flows on from Curryfest. So for me, that's why it's worth doing. But again, couldn't do it without the event managers and volunteers and people who do all the work on the day and even leading up to the day.
Yes, 100%. And I think that there's been such an evolution of Curryfest. I actually think the first year that I was ever involved in it, we were actually involved in the same first year. I think it might have been the 10-year anniversary. And I think I came on as the event manager after the previous event managers didn't want to take it on again. And I think we were significantly in debt and not very many people loved us. And we had to try really hard. But I think that I loved being part of seeing that resurgence of it, from it being like a little community event, and then it kind of grew in its commercialism, and then it kind of had a little bit of a stumble, and then we brought it back, and then the current event managers took it on after I did, and they've like taken it to a whole other level again. And so it's just so amazing to just see how it's continued to kind of grow and evolve. And you're 100% right. I think it has been named as one of the signature events for the Coffs Coast to get the City of Coffs Harbour numerous tourism and event awards over the years. So yeah, it definitely, I think one year when we had a study commissioned, it increased the average bed night for the Coffs Coast. It's usually like a 1.5 night stay, and Curryfest is one of the ones that increases it the most to like a 3.5 night stay. So definitely, the give back to the community. I think people do kind of go, well, why is there a charge to get in? Well, it makes it very, very difficult to put something of that magnitude on without having that charge. And you and I both know, like, I think we were on the committee together the year that we were like, okay, we'll try a gold coin donation. I have people climbing through the garden to avoid giving me $1, to come in and do that. And so, people say, well, why the fencing, why the cover charge? Well, it just wouldn't be
you
able
can't
to
do it. Yeah.
And that's the thing. So, people just have to be aware that, okay, if that was something that the committee was really set on, and I honestly believe that it's only a small amount of the community who don't really understand that, it would have a significant impact on the ability for the festival to go ahead to the size that it is. And it's about growing it and growing the benefit to the community. And there are some things that might be a minor inconvenience for a day, but there's 364 other days to do all of those things, and one day for our community to come together and celebrate. And it's brilliant. I love it. I did not stay on the committee as long as you. I went and I did a really silly thing like getting on council.
I think you might have to come back though.
Yeah, I'm coming back now. I don't have as much to do now that I'm not on council, so I'm very grateful to be able to get back into doing things I love. So yes, bring on Curryfest 2026. Although I don't think you're allowed to retire from being the chairperson just yet. I don't think anyone's going to.
I will have to sometime or other.
We'll have to have a reunion. But yeah, so It has been so wonderful to chat to you about all of this. I do love talking to you.
Goodness knows what you're going to make of all that.
So much, there's so much goodness in there. Is there any last wise words that you would like to share with us? Maybe something that you live by or that you'd like us to know?
I think I probably said it before. I think it is important for people to get involved in their community, particularly after they retire. I don't think retirement is for sitting at home and staring at the wall. I think retirement is for giving back to your community. It's for enjoying your friends in the community. It's for getting out and about and doing things, and that way you'll stay healthy for longer.
What to say? Well, thank you so very much for
Okay.
chatting with me, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon.